Life will either shape you into a warrior or a victim. The choice is yours. In a world full of challenges, setbacks, and emotional chaos, how you train your mind will determine whether you rise or break. Victims surrender to circumstances. Warriors rise because of them. Today, we'll unlock 5 powerful ways to train your mind like a warrior to face life head on with courage, discipline, and unstoppable focus. Your mind is the control center of your life. Every thought, belief, and decision you make shapes the direction you are heading. Training your mind like a warrior starts with taking full ownership of your mindset. This means recognizing that you are not a product of your circumstances. You are a product of your choices. Many people go through life believing that the things happening around them determine who they are and what they can become. They believe that their past, their failures, or the way others treated them define their future. This is the mindset of a victim. A victim waits. A victim blames. A victim hands over their power to situations, people, and even emotions. But a warrior refuses to live this way. A warrior claims responsibility even when life feels unfair, even when things hurt, even when the situation seems out of control. Taking ownership is not about denying pain or pretending everything is perfect. It's about refusing to let external forces dominate your internal world. When you own your mindset, you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What can I do from here?" This shift changes everything. It transforms you from a passive observer of your life to an active creator of your future. You begin to realize that your thoughts are not random. They are choices. You choose what to focus on. You choose what meaning to attach to events. You choose whether to believe in your strength or surrender to your weakness. When you take this level of responsibility, your mind starts to build new patterns. You become aware of your self-talk, and you challenge thoughts that limit you. Instead of saying, "I can't handle this," you start saying, "How can I grow from this?" Or owning your mindset also means understanding that pain, failure, and struggle are not punishments. They are lessons. A warrior mindset sees obstacles as opportunities to sharpen the sword. Every setback becomes a stepping stone. You stop blaming your past, your parents, society, or luck. You stop looking for someone to fix you. You look within, and you choose to be the one who changes the story. When you truly take ownership, you become mentally unshakable because nothing has the power to control you unless you allow it. You realize that even when life feels out of your hands, your mindset is always in your control. This is where true power lies, not in what happens to you, but in how you respond, how you think, and what you choose to believe about yourself. A warrior knows this deeply, and that's why they win the battles no one else sees. Discomfort is something most people try to avoid. They see it as a signal to stop, to pull back, to protect themselves from pain or failure. But a warrior sees discomfort in an entirely different way. Discomfort is not a warning, it's a doorway. It is the space where growth, strength, and true transformation begin. A victim's mind runs from discomfort, searching for the easiest path, the quickest relief, the safest corner to hide in. But warriors understand that staying comfortable is a slow form of self-destruction. When you stay comfortable, you stop growing. You stop challenging yourself. You start settling for less than what you are capable of becoming. Discomfort is not the enemy. It is the essential training ground for greatness. The mind wants to protect you from pain. It wants to keep you in familiar patterns because familiarity feels safe. But warriors know that familiarity is not always their friend. Growth requires doing the uncomfortable things. The early mornings when you don't feel like moving. The tough conversations you're afraid to have. The risks that terrify you. and the repeated failures that test your patience. Warriors do not chase comfort. They chase the challenge because they understand that the muscle of the mind is only built under pressure. Each time you willingly step into discomfort, you teach your brain that you can survive, adapt, and even thrive in difficult conditions. This slowly reprograms your mind to stop seeing discomfort as something to fear. When you push through uncomfortable situations, you develop mental endurance. You build the ability to handle more, to stand stronger, to resist the urge to give up. Warriors know that life will never stop throwing hard things their way, but instead of avoiding these moments, they lean into them. They learn to breathe in discomfort, to sit with it, to understand that pain is temporary, but the strength gained from it is permanent. Discomfort is a teacher that most people ignore, but the warrior sits in its classroom every day. When life gets hard, many people immediately retreat. They give up on their dreams because the path is too painful. They abandon goals because failure shows up. Warriors do the opposite. They expect pain. They welcome the struggle. They see hard times as part of the process. The very things most people run away from are the exact things warriors walk toward. This mindset separates the strong from the weak, the disciplined from the distracted. Discomfort is the price of becoming someone powerful, and warriors are always willing to pay that price. They do not wait for the right mood or the perfect time. They move forward through the fire, knowing that every uncomfortable step is carving a stronger, more unstoppable version of themselves. When faced with problems, most people get stuck in the loop of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" They drown themselves in self-pity, blame others, and focus on everything that went wrong. This is the mindset of a victim. A person who gives their energy, time, and emotions to problems instead of focusing on finding solutions. A warrior does not think this way. A warrior immediately shifts their mind from dwelling on the problem to seeking the next move. Instead of wasting time complaining, they ask, "What can I do about this? How do I move forward from here?" This habit changes everything. It creates momentum, builds confidence, and strengthens the mind to overcome challenges. Focusing on problems feeds fear. It makes small issues look bigger. It traps you in a cycle where you overthink, feel powerless, and eventually stop taking action. Warriors don't allow themselves to stay in this mental prison. They train their minds to move quickly toward action, no matter how small the first step may be. They understand that overthinking is the enemy of progress. The longer you sit with a problem, the more it controls you. But when you start looking for solutions, you regain your power. You begin to see that you are not stuck. You are simply one decision away from changing your direction. This mindset does not mean ignoring problems or pretending they don't exist. It means you refuse to let the problem steal your focus. Warriors know that whatever you focus on, you fuel. If you feed the problem with attention, it grows. But if you feed the solution with focus, you grow. It's about energy. Victims waste energy on things they can't control. Warriors use their energy to build, to fix, to move. Even when a solution is not perfect, they take action, adjust, and keep going. Waiting for the perfect answer keeps most people frozen. Warriors don't wait. They try, they fail, they learn, they adapt, and they try again. Life is full of unexpected problems. Setbacks will come. People will disappoint you. Circumstances will change. The question is not whether problems will happen. The real question is where you will put your focus when they do. Will you collapse under the weight of what went wrong, or will you stand up and start finding a way forward? Warriors choose the second path every time. They train their minds to spot possibilities where others see dead ends. They build the habit of turning frustration into focus and obstacles into stepping stones. This is what separates a warrior from a victim. It's not that they face fewer problems. It's that they refuse to be controlled by them. Discipline is not something you are born with. It is something you build brick by brick through daily choices. A warrior's mind is not controlled by feelings or moods. It is trained to act regardless of how it feels. Most people wait to feel motivated before they take action. They wait for the perfect time, the right energy, or the ideal situation. But warriors know that waiting for motivation is a trap. Motivation fades. Emotions change. Discipline is what carries you through when nothing else does. Discipline means doing what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like doing it. A disciplined mind is created by small, consistent habits. It is built by showing up every single day, whether it's a workout, studying, working on a goal, or practicing mental silence. Discipline is choosing long-term strength over short-term comfort. Most people will choose what feels easy in the moment, sleeping in, skipping a task, avoiding hard conversations. But warriors train themselves to choose what will make them stronger in the long run, even if it's uncomfortable right now. This daily practice of showing up, pushing through, and sticking to your commitments builds mental toughness like nothing else. Discipline also protects you from emotional chaos. When you build discipline, you stop being a slave to your moods. You don't need to feel ready to take action. You act because you've committed to the process. Warriors are not perfect. They feel lazy. They feel tired. They feel overwhelmed. But their disciplined mind reminds them that feelings are temporary. Their mission is bigger than their emotions. This is why warriors keep moving forward while others quit. A disciplined life is not controlled by random urges or short-term pleasures. Warriors understand that sacrificing short-term comfort is the price of long-term victory. They don't chase the easy path. They chase the right path. Building discipline is not just about big goals. It's in the smallest choices. Waking up when your alarm rings, completing the tasks you promised yourself, sticking to routines, even on hard days. These tiny victories train your mind to trust you. When your mind trusts that you will do what you say, you begin to develop unstoppable inner strength. Without discipline, your mind becomes weak. You become controlled by impulses, easily distracted, constantly pulled in different directions. Discipline brings focus, power, and consistency. Warriors understand that discipline is not punishment. It is the greatest form of self-respect. It is the key to becoming someone you can rely on. When you build discipline, you stop living at the mercy of your emotions and start living by the strength of your choices. That is how a warrior's mind is built. Through discipline, day after day, no matter what. Emotions are powerful, but they are not meant to control your life. Most people are ruled by how they feel in the moment. They get angry and say things they regret. They feel afraid and walk away from opportunities. They feel sad and stop moving forward. This is how a victim's mind operates, letting emotions decide actions, letting temporary feelings control permanent outcomes. But a warrior thinks differently. A warrior understands that emotions are not dictators. They are just signals. They carry information, not commands. You are allowed to feel anger, sadness, fear, and frustration. But you are not meant to be controlled by them. Warriors feel everything, but they choose their response with strength and clarity. Emotional fortitude is built by creating space between feeling and reaction. Most people instantly react without thinking. Warriors train their minds to pause, breathe, and process before acting. They ask themselves, what is the right move here? What does this situation really need from me? This moment of pause is where real power is found. It is the space where self-control is built. When you learn to delay your reaction, you gain the ability to respond with intention instead of impulse. Building emotional strength does not mean becoming cold or pretending you don't feel anything. It means you feel everything fully, but you don't drown in it. You don't let anger push you into bad decisions. You don't let sadness make you quit. You don't let fear stop you from stepping forward. Warriors carry their emotions, but they do not surrender to them. They understand that every emotion will pass, but their actions will have lasting consequences. They choose to act in ways that align with their mission, their discipline, and their higher self, not with whatever emotion happens to be loudest in the moment. Emotional fortitude also means learning to be calm in chaos. When life gets heavy, most people panic. They overreact. They fall apart. Warriors train themselves to stay steady when things go wrong. They trust their preparation. They lean on their discipline. They remain focused on solutions rather than being swept away by emotional storms. Calmness is not weakness. It is control. It is the highest form of strength to remain centered when everything around you is shaking. Building this kind of emotional power takes time. It takes practice. You have to catch yourself when your emotions try to control you. You have to remind yourself that you are not a slave to feelings. You are in charge. A warrior's strength comes from mastering this battle within. The world may test you. People may challenge you. Situations may disappoint you. But you decide what you will do next. That decision, made with emotional fortitude, is what separates a warrior from everyone else. A warrior's mind is always guided by a clear mission. Without a mission, it's easy to get lost in distractions, to be pulled in every direction by temporary desires, by other people's opinions, and by the constant noise of the world. When you don't know what you're fighting for, everything feels urgent. Everything feels overwhelming, and you end up chasing things that don't really matter. A warrior avoids this trap by staying deeply connected to their purpose. They know exactly why they get up every morning, why they push through challenges, and why they refuse to give up. This sense of mission is what keeps them grounded and focused even when life becomes chaotic. Most people are easily distracted. They let social media, meaningless arguments, temporary failures, and the pressure to impress others steal their energy and attention. They forget why they started. They forget what matters most. A warrior never allows this. They train their mind to protect their focus like a shield. They ask themselves, is this helping me get closer to my mission or pulling me away from it? This simple question keeps their path clear. When you have a mission, you don't have time to get lost in petty things. You stop wasting energy on people who don't support you. You stop chasing validation from the outside world. Your mission becomes your compass, guiding every decision, every step, and every sacrifice. Staying mission-focused also helps you recover faster from setbacks. Failure is painful, but warriors understand that failure does not mean the mission is over. It simply means it's time to adjust, to try again, to keep moving. When your mission is bigger than your comfort, you don't quit because things get hard. You don't abandon your path because you feel tired. You find new strength because you know your purpose is worth the struggle. This level of focus gives you mental clarity in moments where others would fall apart. A warrior's mission is personal. It doesn't have to make sense to everyone else. It's something that comes from within. A vision, a goal, a calling that drives them forward. Warriors protect their mission fiercely. They don't allow the opinions of the crowd to shake their direction. They don't let temporary pleasures distract them from long-term goals. Their commitment to the mission is what makes their mind sharp, disciplined, and unstoppable. When life gets loud and confusing, warriors return to their mission. They remember why they started, why they're willing to endure discomfort, why they push forward with discipline, and why they stay emotionally strong. Everything connects back to this purpose. It is the anchor that holds them steady, the fire that keeps them moving, and the reason they become warriors, not victims. Training your mind like a warrior is not about being perfect or fearless. It's about choosing to live with strength, discipline, and purpose every single day. It's about stepping away from the victim mindset that waits, complains, and gives up, and stepping into the warrior's mindset that takes ownership, faces discomfort, seeks solutions, builds discipline, controls emotions, and stays fiercely focused on the mission. Life will always bring challenges, pain, and unexpected struggles, but how you face them defines who you become. A warrior understands that the true battle is always within the mind. When you master that battlefield, you become unstoppable. You no longer depend on motivation, on luck, or on anyone else to push you. You choose to rise again and again, no matter what. That's the power of thinking like a warrior, not a victim. And that's how you win, even in silence.